It's time for Everything Noob, your source for all things gaming.
I am Vortec, joined this evening by Jemmy and Dreadlow. How's it going, you two?
Hello.
It's going good.
So, lots to talk about in the world of gaming. The world of gaming. SpongeBob reference.
You know.
Lots to
I
talk
have
about.
a cold, so I sound a little funny, so excuse the
Dreadlow
voice.
has a cold, so make sure you make fun of him on Twitter, @LitoDreadlow, and tell him he sounds stupid.
Donate to... No, just kidding.
Mail all your cough drops to...
No, we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of gaming news this evening, that a lot of stuff just dropping, and a lot of drama, and we love gaming drama, don't we?
We love it.
Oh,
I do.
yeah?
I kind of love to watch it unfold on Twitter and...
Well, it looks like the worst of it's already over, but anyone out there who knows anything about gaming is probably familiar with Total Biscuit. He's a YouTuber who reviews games, and him and his people managed to get the games early and review them. And there's this whole process where they're very specific. They say, okay, we're going to get your game, we're going to review it, and in exchange, we're going to monetize the video, and that's how we, pay, you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours, kind of thing. That's how YouTube works. That's how all this stuff works.
Well, it's also a known fact. They didn't even have to really state anything because it's really a known fact. And as you will discuss later, or soon here, you'll see that there's others that did the same thing and nothing happened to them. But anyway, Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're fine. So, basically, you can kind of see where this is going because there's this game, and I guess it's horrible, called Day One Gary's Incident. And when I saw the title, before I even knew any of this drama, I thought it was a version of Gary's Mod or something, because of the way it's
Have you
spelled.
ever played your fun?
No.
Because Gary with 2 R's. Yeah.
I just saw Gary with 2 R's, and I thought it was like you know what I mean? So the title itself, my first thought when I heard it wasn't even related was maybe they're trying to piggyback off the success of Gary's Mod.
Oh, well, that's true.
Totally different game. But games are named similar all the time, so it's hard to target it for that. But
Mousecraft.
Mousecraft, Minecraft. But
Gary's a common name now.
Mousecraft is completely different, where this has a lot of the similar graphics of Gary's Mod at first glance. Basically, when you get in this game, though, it's supposed to be like the survival game, and you start off with this weird sword, and the combat looks horrible, and the graphics are really buggy. Really buggy.
It's very linear. You're basically following a storyline.
Yeah. So
not much of a survival in that aspect because you're following the rules of the game. You have to do each mission in order, and that's not really survival.
No, it's not really a survival game. It claims to be, though.
It's
so
a hallway.
Total Biscuit gave it this review that wasn't too pleasant, saying, "Oh, the graphics are nice, but that's about it." I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch his response because what happened was the game developer, I guess, got so pissed that this game had a negative review that he abused YouTube's copyright system and got the video pulled and got a black mark on Total Biscuit's account. So he fired back with everything he has, which is everything.
Which is everything.
Yeah.
Million plus subscribers. And a community to back him up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I guess today, about 5 hours ago on the Facebook page for what's the game company called again? It's in the show notes when you guys want to go check this out.
Wild Game Studios.
Wild Game Studios. Check out the show notes, everythingnoob.com. That's where you'll find all this. And yeah, their Facebook page issued an apology. And people were not nice about that. It was like, oh, now you're backpedaling, and just all the internet hate you could imagine, just focused in one place.
Well, you've heard of Web of Trust. Okay, what it is basically it's a plug-in for your browser, and it's a community of people who, when they go to a bad website, they mark it bad or good. They give it ratings for the website. And so what it does is it puts a little circle on the side of the website, and it's either red, green, or yellow for, somewhat safe, but red is a no-no. Even their website, Watt, has already, and this has only been a day since this whole incident happened, Watt has already made it, it's a red circle, which means that on my browsers anyway, it blocks the website.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad it is. So I have to actually exit out of that to be able to get to it.
One thing I've learned about the internet and just gaming in general, if you're not someone who follows politics or anything else, and you just follow video game stuff, which is a lot of my friends, a lot of people I know, you will not get away with abusing or messing with free speech on the internet.
Oh,
No matter how non-political you claim to be, you will recognize when someone tries to attack your right of free speech. And man, people don't like that in real life, much less in the gaming world.
Right.
But there's also, this is like freedom of the press too.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't being paid to give a positive review and failed to provide that positive review. He obviously just does it in an editorial news sort of way to kind of inform you about what's coming up that he was given a editorial copy of it for, which is basically a pre-release copy. And so, like, that's not a good thing when they start, like...
Right. I mean, even...
canning, abusing the system, because obviously Google would rather go along the side of caution and pull all videos that may or may not be copywritten.
Well, that was the point of his video. He came up and said, you know, at the end of it, he said, Google needs to do something about this because look how easy it is for this company to come along and get our stuff pulled.
Even though it was perfectly legitimate.
Right, and if you, there was another video that was a response to Total Biscuit's video talking about this issue, and it was a person that Total Biscuit had mentioned in the video as one of the videos that was a review that was monetized, and Wild Game Studios didn't take his video down, so he responded with a video. And he expressed in the video that, hey, I've been working with the CEO of this company. I was on good terms with them. Talked to the devs, and I did a review of their game. And it was a so-so review. It wasn't the greatest review, but it was a review of the game. He goes, but after seeing what happened with Total Biscuit, I'm on his side. And so he basically, he had this company backing him up and doing the videos and stuff, and he basically turned and went, hey, you did this to Total Biscuit. Why didn't you do this to me?
Exactly.
And then he went on to talk about how
Total Biscuit's getting millions of views.
Other companies and other people are abusing the system as well to take down videos. And a great example is actually Captain Sparkles.
Yeah.
On his Gangman style,
he's someone who makes Minecraft parodies of popular songs.
Yeah, he makes all kinds of Minecraft.
He gets he's at a risk of doing music like that.
It is, but it was a parody.
No, parody covered.
All the words.
All
the words were different.
The
words, music was different.
And you play the tune yourself, or find you have to write it yourself. You can't pull it from
Yeah, but I'm just saying with the automatic stuff that YouTube has up that pulls crap down all the time, it's still sort of a risk in that sense.
Oh yeah, for the automatic stuff, yes.
Yeah.
The robots will catch it.
Is the group called Approaching Nirvana, or what's the group called?
Oh yeah, Approaching Nirvana.
They're the ones that did the music for it.
We use a lot of their music on our channels. I use it anyway.
And so they redid the music, they redid the words, they redid the whole video, though it was almost exactly like the original video, but it was in Minecraft characters instead. And it was a parody, and because Captain Sparkles didn't have, he actually didn't have ticked. If you look in your YouTube, there's a thing where it says it's ticked that you can appeal any strikes against you, and his wasn't ticked, and so he couldn't appeal it. No matter what he did, he could not do it, and so he had to. But he put it back up. And nobody's touched it since, so he put it back up anyway. He says, it deserves to be up.
Total Biscuit made a good point. We probably talked about this in the show a couple times. We have so many shows now that I'm forgetting what we've talked about and what we haven't. That's fantastic. We've probably mentioned this before, but we've probably talked about gaming networks and how they have their ups and their downs. Well, Total Biscuit brought up a good point. If you're someone who does things with games, you're under a gaming network, because a gaming network has a blanket agreement with YouTube that protects all of the YouTubers who want to make gaming videos, so there's not any kind of lawsuits or anything like that, or videos aren't getting pulled left and right. So
right.
his gaming network has been able to, get him out of stuff like this before, and that's the one benefit to being under
But yet,
someone
smaller
like
YouTubers, it's a little bit more harder and more difficult to
Yeah.
get those strikes off, unfortunately. And that's what's sad about it, because it can basically abuse the system. I don't know if like the common YouTuber or the common person who views YouTube can actually put a strike against a person. I think YouTube would ignore it. It'd have to actually come from
that. It needs
a
to come
reputable-
with some clout.
yeah.
Well, there's even been cases with YouTube where people were posing as the company and like
I remember that.
to flame and hate would get videos pulled because they just didn't want it on there for whatever reason. And like so then there was backlash and they're like, no, this isn't copyright, blah 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 blah, and they went and actually contacted the company and were like, no, we never sent you that. We don't care. Go ahead and put it up. Why we never sent those copyright flags.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can easily even impose as somebody from a company and get videos pulled.
Yeah, that's sad. That's pretty sad.
Well,
Which is a problem.
pretty scary.
that's why I like doing stuff
You
like
get 3
this.
strikes, your channel's down.
Yeah,
you know?
your channel's down for good. If you're someone who's making money off that channel for your livelihood, like Total Biscuit is, one out of 3 strikes, that's a third of your channel almost gone. I mean,
yeah, and it takes 6 months for them to get it back up if whatever was resolved.
if it gets resolved.
Yeah.
So I like doing stuff like this because on the podcast we talk about games we like and we don't like all the time, like we're doing right now. We looked into this game. It looked pretty crap, so we're not saying anything nice about it, except maybe the graphics are nice and the company themselves suck. Now, because this podcast is on YouTube, he could try the same crap to us and anyone else who makes a video about this game. But the thing is, we're a podcast, and we host our podcast in different places other than YouTube. And that's the one nice thing. If you're someone who does game reviews and you don't have footage of the game, you're just doing vlogs, you don't need a network to protect you because you don't have game footage. You're exercising your right to free speech by reviewing the game and just not having it on the screen. Once you put it on the screen, there could be complications. But in Total Biscuit's case, I kind of, he has his network, and so he has to put his videos on YouTube. He doesn't have the freedom to be a podcast that can host on their own website. We have our show hosted through a feed and through YouTube. The feed puts it on iTunes, the feed puts it on our website, and YouTube puts it on YouTube. So if it gets pulled off YouTube, okay, well, it's still on our website. We
show goes on.
Yeah, the show goes on. So I don't know. That's the one nice thing about not being completely tied down to YouTube and their, you know what I mean, their thumb just on you all the time.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure if Total Biscuit for some reason got booted off of YouTube, he'd find a way to be back on the internet in a different way.
But for me, I watched I think I watched like 1 or 2 videos way even before Total Biscuit did this video, and the one guy gave it a pretty bad review and he rage quit and ended his video. But I looked at the game and I thought, well, this is pretty cool. I would actually try it, and I would have bought it anyway, just based on one bad review. No, I want to try it myself. But since this happened, I don't even want to touch it.
No.
So, and I think a majority of the people think the same way. There's a lot of people in the community, in his community especially, that think the same way. That blew it for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just being a bunch of crybabies.
Yeah, if they had any chance of selling a game, they blew it at that moment.
It's just like that other game. Oh, what was it called? War Z. Someone actually made a comment on, I think it was the Facebook page. I would rather play War Z with a cactus up my ass for the rest of my life than play than buy your crappy game.
That's right.
I wonder if he'll hold up to that.
Wow.
I'd be curious myself. So
somewhere out there, there's a guy with a cactus up his butt playing War Z.
I hate my life. It's true though. I mean,
a hacker-ridden game.
If you're someone who is an indie developer, you are going to have great success if you have a great product. If you don't have a great product, you have 2 choices: make it better, or do what these people are doing and just try to pretend it's better, even though it's not. They're writing their own reviews for their game and trying to make it sound great, and they're doing everything they can to cheat the system. Yeah.
But
not in this industry.
The thing is, look, if you're at least honest, You could put out a crap game, and what was the game we saw the other day? Just a couple weeks ago. Goat petting simulator.
Goat petting simulator. Yeah, we talked about that.
The goat petting, or is it? Yeah, goat petting. That game's big. Well, they were being honest. That's the game.
Yeah.
And it's popular. It's a comical thing. It's pretty funny. But I mean, if they were just being honest, they said, look, this is it reminds me of a Telltale's game, where it's a storyline and you go through the story and all that stuff. They were just honest and they said that's what it was. I think more people would have caught on to it, and they would have gotten the people that like those kind of games, like me, to buy it anyway. And the graphics look pretty decent, but
they need feedback. They need to go on their community forums or the Steam forums and go, here's my game. It has a lot of bugs right now. If you can look past those, what can I do to improve this game? And don't just take off reviews from giant YouTubers who have a say. Take their reviews to heart and go, this guy's right. I shouldn't have all these bugs in my game. It should be more open if it's going to be a survival game. Otherwise, I should change the genre. Sit there and take the criticism. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. If you sat there, if you took Total Biscuit's review and you replied to it and you said, you know what, thank you for the comments. I'm going to take these to heart and I'm going to try to improve my product.
He could have just ignored it and probably done better, because at least there was all those eyeballs and ears hearing about the game.
People would have bought it just to see what the hell it was.
Exactly.
They would say, well, because, okay, great example. Total Biscuit has constantly bagged on Minecraft. He has put down Minecraft so many times. He hates Minecraft. He hates it with a passion. I can say this, and he'd probably agree with me if he was watching the show, because he doesn't like Minecraft. Not to say he has anything against Mojang or Notch. I mean, he likes them both. I think he's even talked to Notch. I don't know. He might have even tweeted back and forth or whatever with him.
I'm sure that's happened.
He just does not like Minecraft. But look at Minecraft.
Yeah.
Mojang didn't go against Total Biscuit and say, you're crap. No. And you know what? If you get a critique like that, because Minecraft was in its infancy, it didn't have a whole lot to it yet. So when he reviewed it, so it wasn't really a whole lot yet. Now I don't know what he would say about it. But if I was making a game and I got a critique from Total Biscuit and it was a pretty bad critique, I would take it to heart and I'd say, man, coming from him, because he's tough. He's tough. He critiques everything. He's right on it,
Well, there's certain things, like I bet you when he reviewed Minecraft and talked trash about it, he probably just went all out, and look at what it turned into, and they probably didn't even care about his review. They're like, no, we have a plan for Minecraft. It's going to take us a while to develop the things he's saying we don't have. I didn't watch that review, so I'm just speaking out my ass, but that's your options as an indie developer. If you want to be successful, you are at the whim of us, the consumer, who's going to buy your game. People like us who are doing podcasts about random indie games that we find and we like or we don't like, and people who are going to review them. You're at our mercy. And the more followers we have and the more people we can reach, the worse it is for you if you're going to be a dick.
Yeah. I mean, this podcast itself has, I feel as though it's improved. We've probably got tons of improvements to go through. We've got a lot of things to learn. But we've improved based on feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've taken the critics and we've taken the critiques and we've listened to them and we said, hey, these are the things we need to change. And we've changed them. There's a number of things. Even though just the opening itself is a change based on what we've been critiqued on. So there you go. That's all they needed to do. They needed to just take it for what it was.
Yeah. Jimmy, you look like you want to say something.
No. Nope.
Okay, never mind. I'm just a liar.
I had half a joke, and I was trying to think of a punchline, and I couldn't. So it's just like, I got nothing.
So you just had a sentence.
Yeah, I just pretty much had a sentence, and I was going to talk about the website critiques we got, and I'm like, I can't even fake somebody gave us a nasty one.
I forgot to tell you guys about this because this is actually pretty important while we're on the topic of drama, and I totally meant to bring this up earlier, and I'm sorry.
Oh, is somebody going to start a fight with our podcast? I am so ready.
No. This was really cool. We got a blog comment for a blog one of us wrote about Worm Online. It might have been Dreadlow's blog. a while back.
Probably.
Oh
And-
yeah, I did.
And this comment was really just it really, I don't know what it was about it, but it jumped out at me because the person, I'm going to try to pull it up while I'm talking about it here. There's no fight.
Dang.
the
Dang.
the person who was writing it was kind of following up, I guess. Maybe they didn't know when we wrote it, or maybe they just wanted to throw us an update because I haven't heard anything about Worm Online. We used to talk about it a lot because we were excited about it. It looked like it was going somewhere. Well, this person basically said Worm Online isn't doing good. People in the community are leaving in droves because they're not keeping any of the promises they originally had, and
They jacked up the price.
they've jacked up the price. And yeah, it was a pretty intense comment. It was a long comment. So
Wow.
if I can find that here, I'll tell you guys about it. But I did find it. But anyway, we'll come back to that.
Worm Online, but like after I saw that they were increasing the price, I was like, I can't pay that monthly for that.
It's
Well,
not
there's
that
a
long.
game.
I'll just go play that.
I think there's a game that is pretty close to Worm Online
Well,
that I've mentioned before.
before we get to that, I
Okay.
have it. It's not a very long post. Sorry to interrupt you. It says, this is one of those posts that came too soon. And what he means is, like, we wrote a really nice blog about Worm Online. And
Yeah.
he's saying that it was a little too soon. So he understands that this was written a while back. Since the fanfare has died down, due to the massive amount of bugs and very few fixes, the players have been leaving in droves, with comments like, same old worm, all promises and no fixes. It's actually gotten so bad that they should start calling it abandoned lands, because you just travel forever and see nothing but abandoned farms, probably including mine. Very few people remain in the game, and those who have grown weary of Rolf's lack of concern for keeping promises. So the guy, Rolf, I guess, is the lead dev on it, I'm assuming.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of empty promises, and I just thought it was kind of a random comment, but pretty interesting at the same time.
Well, it's funny because, see, this thing has been in development, I mean, way before Minecraft. Notch was involved in it in the beginning. It sat for several years, just nothing happening with it at all. It was the same. No updates, nothing for a long, long time. And then they just started rapid-fire updates, one right after another, boom, 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 consistently. And then they just went back into that slow rut again, and they're not doing much with it.
You know what? They need to do something because Notch tweeted about it again yesterday.
I know
Yeah.
Basher's been like all over it the past week or
Yeah.
so. Like
Another big YouTuber.
Every time I go to Twitter, I just see something about Worm Online from Basher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I
It's
think you're
helping.
the only person playing.
He's got his own little land going, Ashurian, I think it's called.
Yeah.
It's-
He always posts screen caps and stuff like that.
It appeals to people like him, and that's great. I'm glad it has an audience because I lost interest. It was just too hard. It was too hard to build anything, craft anything.
Too long. I mean,
Yeah, there's other games I could be playing right now. When you're playing, like RuneScape is a good example too. It's a lot of grinding. When you're playing a game like that and you can have another game open on the side, you know there's a problem. I used to play RuneScape on the side while I would play Halo. And I would I'd be cooking my fish, and then I'd get my guy cooking another batch, kill a few people in Halo, get another batch of fish, and that's not a game. That's just numbers. You're just building up a number at that point. It's not. You're not getting anything out of that.
Graphical tedium.
Yeah.
and hey, you remember how people used to make a bunch of campfires?
Yeah. No, they do that still
Campfire.
to get their fire level up.
I saw somebody do that in Worm Online once.
It's-
Just made a whole bunch of campfires and just cooked in them all.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're still up. I mean, it's no fun when you have to do stuff like that.
not anymore.
Just
No one
isn't.
likes a grinder anymore because there's so many options for browser games now. Like RuneScape was probably good for office nerds who had a lot of free time on their hands while they were at work and just could keep it open in the background in their browser because it's still a browser game and it's perfect for that. It still caters to that audience, but there's so many options for browser games now.
Oh yeah,
So
Cookie Clicker.
Cookie Clicker, yeah,
Cookie Clicker's
just
definitely
as
up there.
pointless.
Grandmas.
It's more pointless than RuneScape, but it has the same exact addictive tendency about it. Cookie Clicker.
I
totally
think
pointless.
Cookie Clicker is way more addictive because there's the a lot of false sense of achievement with
Yeah.
that game, especially when you like see those numbers.
I haven't played it
Oh,
in forever.
yeah.
I lost interest just as fast as I gained interest, but it was, it was an addicting little thing.
I played that game for over a week straight.
Oh,
Like,
I did too.
left it running all day, every day for over a week.
Yeah, and
I was a little disgusted with myself.
you'll never catch up with your friends unless they stop playing it. I mean, it's one of those things that drives you nuts. Like, I just got to get, another trillion
have
cookies a minute or a second.
They have a Breaking Bad version of that. It's called Clicking Bad.
Oh my God,
Wait.
is it the same people?
Yes, Clicking Bad.
Do you click
don't know,
blue
I don't
meth or?
Yeah, you're cooking meth.
Oh my.
I swear to God, I'm not lying.
No way.
It's called Clicking Bad. Look it up.
Oh,
That's ridiculous.
kind of want to play that now. Cookie
So
Clicker
anyway,
is pretty
hey.
addictive.
Like I said, Goat Pet Simulator.
Go Pet Simulator.
I
So
actually would play that, as sad as that is.
the-
I got excited because in Assassin's Creed 3 you can pet all the animals and feed them. It was like,
I didn't know
hey,
that.
Yeah, you walk up to an animal and like the little action button will come up, pet animal, and I'm like, yes, please. I want to pet the pig. I
That's
want to
funny.
pet the cat. How about them chickens?
That's funny.
And the cows, everything. I don't even know why that feature's in there because it's absolutely useless. But I get a huge kick out of it.
You have to let me know when you beat that because I kind of need. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I kind of need some help. After you beat it, I don't know if the story continues or not, and I'm too lazy to keep trying because it's just a really weird thing. So
I keep waiting for this twist you promised me at the very beginning of the game. I've played like a couple of hours, and I'm like, where's the twist?
Oh, and nothing has more twists than Stanley's Parable, though.
It has so many endings and so many beginnings.
I got to try that
Anyway.
game because I don't know what
you
the
gotta
hell
get
it
it.
is.
It is.
I watched
hilarious.
one video on it and it looked really funny, and it's on my list. I'm gonna buy it. I'll play it.
No, you have to do it.
I will.
There is no.
It's
I
very
don't think-
clever.
I don't think anybody's ever found all the endings.
I bet you
I
it's
love
one
the
of those.
narrator.
narrator's voice too.
There's hundreds of endings.
It reminded me of
But
Portal,
anyway.
like the video I saw.
Yeah.
It's made by the same people, I think, right? Valve?
No.
No?
No. It was originally a Half-Life 2 mod, but no, it's not made by the same people.
Oh,
Half-Life
okay.
But, like,
has spawned a
their
lot of
writing-
stuff.
Their writing is it reminds me a lot of Terry Pratchett books as well as Portal. So, if that's
Yeah.
your cup of tea, you probably will like the Stanley Parable.
It's funny.
I don't know if it'll make it on
They
the Everything
picked the
Noob
perfect
channel or not.
person.
If one of you guys want to put on the Everything Noob channel, I don't know if I'll record it or not, but I am curious. I'm actually going to
Yeah.
have on Wednesday a new Mousecraft video going on our YouTube channel, so watch out for that. I'm keeping them
Yeah.
short, I decided. Like 5-6 minutes long.
Short's good. Just a couple of puzzles.
Yeah. It's a good game for that, too. So, I want to talk about what you were about to mention. I interrupt you. You were going to talk about Rust, I imagine, right?
Rust, yeah, it's still in alpha. I think it's still in pre-alpha, actually. No, it's alpha. But it's it's bound to happen with an alpha game. You're going to see this, but I mean, it's been going nuts. There is a tremendous amount of hackers that go onto the servers and they jump super high in the air, they fly around, they teleport to different places. If you build a house and you put your stuff in your house and you save it and you log off, you come back and the house is gone and because they destroyed it and they've taken all your stuff. You can't, it's just really sad. And it's PvP, so when you go on to the PvP server, when you die, you spawn as a new spawn, completely naked and with a rock in your hand.
What?
And it's a survival game, kind of like
Minecraft.
like War Z, Minecraft, those type of things, where you spawn, you have to survive from the zombies, so you can craft your house and build a house and the whole thing, and you can do all this stuff. But what's happening now is, as soon as you log in, you get killed instantly. There's this massive
game,
amounts
on
of...
limited player base because they were doing the Dutch auctions.
Yes, this is the
How
one.
does this happen? doing with that kind of system?
They put up a new auction every how often? I mean, it's gonna people are
now
gonna.
Now it's at $40. Starts at $40. Ends at $0. They have 5 keys to give away an hour.
Yeah,
An hour.
but like people were paying like
Yeah.
$30 to $40 for it. So like, and only five an hour. Like if you think about the grand scheme of things in the world, like that's not a huge player base. So if there's tons of hackers, like how does this happen?
If you go to their here, I'll tell you exactly how many people have bought the game.
Alphas tend to, if you're going to have a multiplayer alpha like the size of Rust, that's going to happen if there's not enough to do. And, of course, an alpha game is going to be easy to exploit. So, like, for example, while Dreadlow looks for that, Frodo and I were playing Smite the other evening. And the videos on my channel and everything, it was actually really obnoxious. One of the characters was obviously hacking. He was just sprinting around and trying to kill people, but he was a tank, and he couldn't kill anyone, so he just kept dying a lot. But everyone was like, oh my god, there's a hacker in Smite. Like, their minds were blown.
I saw that video, yes.
Yeah.
You recorded it.
And I'm like, really? Well, it's a beta game, and they're probably just people are starting to find this exploit. They just added jumping for no reason. You don't need to jump in Smite, but they added a jump key. And when this guy would start running, you'd see him jump up and down a bunch and then sprint. So I think it has something to do with that jump thing. So the hacker found an exploit and made himself run really fast.
Yeah, wow,
it happened.
bad.
It's a beta game. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, this is sold almost 11,000 copies. So there's about 11,000 people playing the game.
Okay.
So again, it's alpha. You know, it's going to have these things, and they promised to fix a lot of this. But what they did is they just introduced a new server type. And there's actually two or three servers that are called this. They're called sleeper servers. And what it is when you die, I mean when you spawn into a sleeper server and you do your thing, create a house, all that stuff. When you log off, your body's still there, so it still can be killed.
That's weird.
So imagine
Why would that be
seems
there?
like an
that's
awful
a
idea
hacker's
with the
paradise.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
hacker's dream. And then it's like and not just that, whacker's dream, because I mean these guys, they go in and as soon as you spawn they kill you for no reason. They just do it just for the fun of it. They've got the max weapons and they just kill you. You can't even get a chance. I go up to a tree and start to hit it for wood and I'm killed. I got to start all over because all my stuff is gone. And it's terrible. Luckily they have a PvE server. So that's the one I've been playing on. But I'm sure that these things will be fixed. And I just don't want this game to turn out like War Z was, and it still is, I think, where it's just a hacker's paradise. And just hacker... I think when they get their own launcher, that will change, I'm hoping. Because right now it's still web-based. But
RuneScape has always been web-based.
It's easy to hack web-based games.
Yeah. So that's my gripe, and this is a thing that's been, the community's been hollering at in the forums, and no response from developers yet for this, but it's expected. I mean, it's still, like I said, it's alpha, so these are things that they haven't been able to fix yet. They said they would ban, if there's absolute proof that they've been hacking, they'll ban them. So all we have to do is do videos and put it on YouTube, and
that's why I did the Smite video. I was with Frodo. I'm like, I should probably record a little bit of this, and I got the guy's name in the video, and it pissed me off because the more one person's going to get away with it. Think about that. You're playing a game. Smite consists of 10 people in one game, so 9 people see this guy hacking every time he logs into a game. So that's 9 new people who play Smite every time this guy plays a game and he's hacking. 9 people who might look at it and be pissed, or 9 people who might go and like his whole team was totally on his side. They weren't. No one said anything to like point out on his own team. Look, this guy's hacking. Let's just surrender. Let's just we're not going to play like this. No, everyone was like, great, a hacker, and they just went with it, and that pissed us off even more.
They'll likely win, and then
they did. They almost lost. We were screwing around.
Nobody wants to lose.
Yeah.
Or surrender, because that'll ruin your ratio and that'll ruin your player score. I think if you report there's a hacker in the game and surrender, the game should be under review, and your score shouldn't be penalized for that. So
the problem with Smite is they don't.
You would get rewarded for not encouraging that behavior.
Most of these hackers, because they just introduced voice in Rust, so you press the V key and you can talk locally to whoever's hacking or whatever. You say, hey, I got you on video or whatever, you know. Most of them are little kids.
Yeah.
And here's the funny part. This is a violent game. I mean, literally violent. I mean, blood. There's blood in it. And also, when you first spawn, you're 100% naked. I mean, they show everything. And so, if kids are playing this game, you know, I don't know. It's a parent's responsibility, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's the internet, and I
they're
don't
the ones that are mostly doing the hacking. So
and you can't even call them hackers. What it is they're downloading a client that made it easy to hack. Like RuneScape had that problem, and I'm sure they still do, where you can download a client that will control your character, and you're not in no way are you a hacker. You are using a hacked client, kind of like Minecraft has some hacked clients. So
I used one on my server when I had a Minecraft server. More for I was able to use it against hackers.
Yeah.
So I actually used a client, but on my own server, so that I was able to use the same, you know, tricks and stuff that they can use. But anyway.
Well, yeah, it's just about a community standing up and going, we're not going to stand for this. And the problem with RuneScape, and I'm going to keep bringing that up because that was the game I experienced hacking with, is that let's say you're someone who's trying to raise your woodcutting level. You need to go to a forest with trees that are a high enough level for you to get experience off of. Well, there's only a few hot spots where those trees are close to banks where people like to cut wood and then store the wood and then sell the wood later. Well, that's where all the bots hang out. And if the bots are cutting down trees, there's no trees for you to cut down. So the problem is not enough people have stood up and said, we're not going to stand for botting. Instead, they're like, screw this. This game is way too long to level up anyway. I'm just going to bot. And the botting grows that way.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, though, that the Smite community is a little bit different and goes, come on, you know, this game is imbalanced enough as it is. We don't need hackers. And that's why we made the video. And I've tried to tweet it to them. They haven't tweeted back at me. I hope they saw it. I'm going to put it on the forums next because I like the game. And it's free. And when you have a free game that's in beta, you're going to have problems, and you got to nip them in the bud right away. And jumping shouldn't have been added anyway. Spacebar had a different use before you added your stupid jump option, so stop it. Like, you know what I mean? People get frustrated when they play what's it called? It's a third person, but it's right behind the character. They get frustrated when they can't jump. And I don't know why. There's no obstacles in Smite. They didn't add obstacles to jump over. It's just a thing you can do.
I'm one of those people, though. I like the senseless jump for the sake of jumping. Like, I get a little, like, antsy if I can't just, like, idly jump. Like, I need to tap that key just, like, drumming my fingers. I don't know.
I was like that, too, and then I played it.
Therapeutic.
I played it a bunch, and I forgot about it.
In real life, are you going to jump up in the air 100 billion times to avoid something, you know?
I'm kind of twitchy and stuff.
When I'm trying to take down my neighbor's tower to kill their Minotaur, I need to be able to jump.
Now, some of those characters, though, have like an ability that allows you to jump. Well, you know what I mean? It's like one of the abilities, though. And
that's like jump way in the sky and pick your target from the sky and then fall down on him. But to jump in Smite, it doesn't protect you from anything. It has no purpose except people just probably all the new players are probably just bitching that it needs to be in the game because they're used to jumping in other games. You can't jump in League of Legends as far as I know, but that's a top-down kind of game, so
maybe
you don't feel like you need
to. With like obstacles to jump over and stuff.
I would hate that. They need not all characters can jump because some kind of float, and then those characters can't jump. So it only applies to characters with legs that stand on the ground.
Can you jump strafe in Smite now?
You
can strafe to the left and jump over to the left. That might be the reason why they like it.
I don't know. Anyway, it was a bug, or I'm thinking it's bugged, and I'm hoping that they saw it. I'm hoping something happens because it's people like me who are going to record it and try to get it. And I didn't tell the guy I was recording it. I'm just like, oh, I'm recording this and giving it to Smite.
Did
Because
you report him?
Yeah.
No, actually, I DC'd before the game was over. I disconnected, and that sucked.
Oh.
But Frodo did report him, I think.
That's good. As long as somebody reported him.
So we'll see what happens. I would like to not play a game with hackers. Oh man, when it's a game you start to really like and get into, especially Smite, it's one of those ones where you build up a max level over time and you get more rewards for that. When you've been playing and working so hard for that, and then someone comes in and is like, "Oh, look at me," and hacks it. Ugh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's irritating.
Yeah, we were mad at their team for going along with it. Like, you guys should have just stood there and been just as confused as we were. Our team stopped trying. And the hacker wasn't even good. We were just like so concerned with what was going on, especially Frodo and I. We stopped trying to kill people. We were just trying to get a good shot at him, like recording him. And so we almost won still.
I know games like World of Warcraft and stuff, they have a report feature where you can actually report a player, and what they'll do, all that'll do is just kind of flag them, and then a moderator or somebody can actually monitor. And they can monitor it by watching like a console to see, like movements, how far they move from one space to the next. If they move real fast, they know they're hacking, and then they can ban them.
Yeah.
And I think that stuff like that needs to be implemented in some of these other games, so they can monitor it better.
Yeah. Well, anyway, on to another note.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys remember Cube World. We've talked about that on the show.
Oh yeah.
We were really excited to play it. Paid what, $15, $20 for it?
Yeah.
And we haven't heard anything since we bought it. No updates, no nothing.
It's been since July.
Yeah, it's just been sitting there stagnant. And oh man, Kotaku, I think that's how you say it. They do blogs.
Kotaku, yeah. Or,
Yeah, I think it's Kotaku.
Or something like that, yeah.
Okay, it's going to be linked in our show notes because it's pretty interesting. They said the fans are really worried about it, and they showed like this whole page of tweets they took screenshots of, just constant like tweets at the developers, like, what is going on with this game? You took our money and ran, or what's going on? And the developer finally tweeted back, look, we're still working on Cube World. We just got a lot going on right now. But it's been a long time.
That's like several months of nothing. It's not, hey, we're working on this and development's really slow, so we're only going to have content updates every 6 months. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the developer was actually contacted by Kotaku, or however you pronounce that anyway. And in talking to him, one of the questions that they asked was, because if you remember, just before there was no response from them, they were DDoS'd. Their website was DDoS attacked.
That was on release, though, right?
Yeah, but it just constantly kept happening.
It discouraged them.
To a point where they couldn't even sell the game half the time, and it just wasn't working right. And yeah, it discouraged him. And so when they asked him, they says, "Do you think that has something to do with the reason why you haven't been responding or speaking to the community?" And he says, "Maybe." So I think it is. I think it's something that it was discouraging. To have somebody, they're putting out a game for the people. They really wanted it. They asked for it. He wasn't going to put it out until it was done, if you remember.
Yeah.
And they kept asking and asking and asking, take our money already, take our money. That was always the comment, take our money. So finally he says, all right, I'm going to allow you guys to buy it.
He warned us. I mean, I'll give him that.
Yeah,
people are just upset because he's not being very transparent.
Maybe he knows who DDoSed him.
That's interesting.
And there's some drama behind the scenes that we don't know about. And that's very discouraging to him because he knows he can't get that person to stop, or that person's going to be a huge thorn.
Right.
Even worse if it's somebody on his team as a little temper tantrum. Now, these are all just rumors and speculation because I love drama, and I love to make huge assumptions that are way off base. It's somebody in his team that is not happy about that release date. They wanted, maybe next year.
Maybe it was the NSA.
Oh, my God. You're right.
The NSA, they want to shut down Cube World. That's it.
So
Yeah, too many blueprints. Korea.
Korea. I don't know. It was a good game, but I lost interest in it really fast because it's underdeveloped. I can see why they didn't want anyone to play it yet. Now, for what it is, it works really well. It's not very buggy, but it's
And
a really
he does-
polished nothing right now. That's what I look
Yeah.
at Cube World as.
But he says the next update is going to be incredible, so
Yeah,
we're
I
hoping.
think
So
people just
Maybe
need
it'll
some
be a
patience.
big content update then, and it's just taking time because there's so much content.
Yeah.
Well, from what I understand, it's just a husband and wife thing, right? And they've got a couple people that are helping, but
They have
yeah,
real
if it's
jobs
a team
too.
of like a handful of people who have real jobs, then
yeah, they got real jobs, and because of the DDoS attacks, they didn't really make a whole lot of money anyway.
Yeah, people
You know,
kind
I
of
don't
probably
know,
gave
but-
up on trying to buy it.
Yeah,
So,
so
well, in the world of
There
indie
you go.
games, let's talk about our noob spotlight this week. We found this game. It looks really cool. It's very, very basic, but I like games like
goat
this.
petting simulator.
No. I'm going to try to say it. I'm going to botch it, though. It's Magicite or Magicite, or it's the word magic with ITE at the end. It's going to be linked in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'm going to link their Kickstarter because they reached their goal in a day, and that's why this kind of jumped out at me.
Wow.
And they're still taking donations, though, and they have all this list of things that are going to be added, but it's like a 2D side-scroller, very pixely, very 8-bit, but it's multiplayer, and like it's just a little RPG. You go through, there's different biomes and stuff. It looks very open, even though it's like a flat 2D side-scroller. And you can play with your friends, and you get loot, and you upgrade your character. It looks cool. I would
And it's
say
multiplayer, which is uncommon for side scrollers, except for like Terraria,
yeah.
games like
The art
that.
style reminds me of Ween's game.
Yeah, a little bit like
Yeah.
Epic Inventor. Yeah.
Yep.
And it looks very, very funny, too.
Yeah, it's
Or
cute.
like,
It's definitely cute looking. I like the little
Yeah.
puffball things that they were fighting in the video. I don't know.
What's that game recently? Spelunky.
Spelunky.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Pixely like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, you can take your friends and just go, on the side-scrolling little adventure. I would play this game once it comes out. I do want it. But
Is it multiplayer like Spelunky and local area only?
I think this one's going to be multiplayer online. Spelunky being local.
That was such a letdown.
That was a letdown because
I
there's
took
no
that off
reason.
my wish list because of that.
Really?
Wow.
Yes,
It's
I was
still a
like, I
good
don't want
game.
this game anymore.
Yeah, it's still really good, but to be...
I don't want to play that by myself, though.
Well, it's supposed to be an Xbox game originally. They brought it to PC because of the demand. And with an Xbox game, you're
Yeah,
going to have
it's
more friends in
online.
the room playing with controllers, and it really is wired for a controller. You plug your Xbox controller, and it makes a lot more sense. So
Yeah.
I get it, but it was upsetting for sure. So yeah, go check that out. It's going to be linked in the show notes. And yeah, I wish it well. I really do.
It probably will do well if it had,
Fly, my
the
little piggy.
Kickstarter already got there in one day, so that's good.
Yeah, that was impressive too. Their goal was only $1,000 though,
Oh,
Wow.
but 174 backers have brought it up to $3,970.
So what were they
Wow.
gonna do with the $1,000?
$1,000.
What are they just gonna host a website for it, or?
It's pretty cheap to host a website. I'm thinking they're just the guy who is writing. He kind of wrote a little story, and he was talking about like, it was freshman year, blah blah blah. So I'm guessing he's fresh out of college, and probably doing it by himself. Knows he doesn't need a whole lot, and if he makes the goal small, for one, it's going to get funded, but two, it's going to encourage people to keep donating because he has this list of things that would happen. So at $3,000, which he hit 10 extra biomes to explore. All right. So the more money he gets, the more he can kind of survive without having a real job, and then keep
that is a
developing
good
it.
idea. Make the goal low.
You've never seen that?
Yeah, a lot of them are doing
But
that
I
now.
didn't know that's strategic. In thinking that way. Like
Here's
making
the
the goal
base
low
game.
and continue to get donations, and each level he'll add something to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen it before, but I've seen it also. It was still part of the goal. You know what I mean? Like
Oh.
they had a $20,000 goal, and they start out every $1,000 or whatever they did something, or every couple $1,000 they did something until the $20,000 mark was reached.
Usually those aren't adding things to the game, though. Those are more like
Perks or
perks that the backers will get. Like you'll get
Right.
swag or
name in the game.
your name in the credits or something like that. This is literally here. I'm gonna make the base game, and this is what it's gonna be. But if I go this much over like my goal, I'll add this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it's cool. He has all his influences listed here, which is what the first thing we do as people who talk about games is we compare them to other games. And he's influenced by the Monster Hunter series, Minecraft, specifically hardcore mode because it's a roguelike game. Permanent death is available in the game. The Binding of Isaac and Tig Source Forums.
The Binding of Isaac?
Well, yeah, kind of like that permadeath, addictive, you know.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like obviously very transparent developer, and someone who just seems like they have a fresh. I'm not gonna say a fresh idea because this has been done before, but it looks cool. Every game has its own way of capturing the audience, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like short replayable games lately.
Yeah, and
Like I just don't want to play a game for 40 hours anymore. Like I just want the story in one afternoon. Okay, thanks.
well, games
Yeah, I'm
that
into
looks
the
like a
story
brawler a little bit too. And games like that are cool because it's one you could just sit down with your friends one night and go, "Hey, let's play some whatever." And I'm trying to think of the Castle Crashers. Very short story, total brawler. You just go through and your character gains a level. So if you play with your friends again, you could take a higher level character and collect more things, and it's still challenging.
Yeah.
Right.
So you feel like you're also achieving something, but there's no pressure to keep playing. I like that. I don't know if this game's like that.
Yeah,
but
that is good.
I was just agreeing with you.
I agree. I just played through Dungeon Defender story mode like yesterday, all of it, start to finish.
Oh,
And I was like-
wait.
And
I'm
I was
sorry.
like, it's good stuff because like I got it all, and that's all I needed. It was simple and fun.
Orcs Must Die is a lot like that too.
Yeah, I'm so tired of games that take 80 hours. It's too much time.
Okay, I got to say this real quick before we move on. This is about Rust again, real quick. Rust just now changed their
Oh, this is a flash update.
Breaking news. Lito's in the field right now.
Starts at $600 now.
Whew.
All the way
Whoa.
to $0. This is the Dutch auction.
They want to slow down the
there's-
amount of people coming in.
There's 20 tickets an hour. 20 keys an hour.
Or they don't. Weird.
Yeah, and nobody's buying it from 600.
Of course
now
not.
at $49, and nobody's bought any yet.
No.
There are 20 of them. So
You're going to piss people off.
could possibly get one for about $10 if you're fast enough. It is possible still, unless these
I'll
people
wait.
jump on it real quick. There's 20 keys available.
Yeah.
It starts at $600. That's
Most of them won't even sell until it gets close to 30 or 40, though.
Yeah, but I think they have to do that in order to bring it, because if they added 20 and started at $40.
Oh yeah, most of them would just fly
They'd-
off the shelf.
Yeah, so they did it like that. But
Well,
anyway,
People would
that's
wait till it was really, really low. 'cause
that's
like,
a
it's
Rust
like
update.
copies.
I'm here on the field, and
I have something that I think people will be interested in watching. It's going to be linked in the show notes. There's a guy who makes weapons for movies, and he has a YouTube channel. And people send him
I want one
requests.
so bad, but it costs way too much, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't think he's going to be making these to sell.
Oh, I know he's not, but like I want it.
Oh,
like,
I see.
How much would I have to pay to
Yeah.
have one of these?
I think he just makes one of anything that he's asked to do, right?
But one person does it, and then
Yeah.
there'll be somebody else who'll be like, "Oh, there's demand for this. I'll custom make them."
Yeah.
There'll be some artist who does it.
Well,
Download the schematic.
this is apparently one of his most requested things he's ever made. It is the hidden blade from Assassin's Creed. He forged one and it works and everything. It's the real deal. And then they showed them actually using it, like cutting into melons with it, and just He also made
And
a
he made
cutlass.
the sword too.
Yeah, he made a cutlass from Black Flag as well because it's pirate themed. So he made sure this thing was totally, a pirate themed. Like a pirate themed thing because of Assassin's Creed Black Flag coming out. And it looks like
Right.
Ubisoft was very generous to him too because they gave him a toy model of it, and he copied the
sweet.
spring mechanism in it, but made it real instead of plastic and stupid.
Huh.
Yeah.
So he used that trademark design and was allowed to make it. And there was actually a 30-second like trailer before the video for Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So I'm thinking he got some kind of advertising thing from them as well to do it.
Yeah.
And a
I'm
lot
sure
of
you can go to
clips.
him and get anything made.
Oh, it's cool. I like watching his videos. He has a lot of production quality too in the videos. I'm sure he's super rich because he makes
It
weapons
almost
for
looks like
real
a documentary.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the production quality is great, the lighting, everything's perfect. It's so cool to watch him just make these weapons and forge them right in front of you. So go check
Yeah.
that out. It's in the show notes. I just wanted to share that.
I fast forwarded because I just wanted to see him slice through some melons.
It's cool. It's cool to watch how he
I
made
miss
it.
Gallagher, so like that's all I needed. Assassin's Creed Gallagher. That's all I wanted. And then he takes the cutlass, and then it's like it slices right through.
Yeah, I love that. He can slice through stuff all day. I'll watch it.
Oh yeah, it's fun stuff.
I bet you it's super cool to work with him because you get to actually mess with this stuff. I'd be afraid of using that though because the blade comes like right next to your hand.
You get not careful, you cut
gotta
a finger
be really
off.
careful. Yeah, man,
That
oh man.
was in the first game. You cut that finger
Well, yeah,
off.
the blade now, like his blade, kind of it misses your hand, obviously. But if you were positioned like this and it came, nick your fingers, that would suck. And you also had to make sure the knife didn't come shooting out like a bullet. You had to make it so the spring was
that would be
locked
so
in there.
awesome! Like throwing stars from just like a little do that, and it's just like shink out of your wrists.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Well, we only have a couple minutes left. Did you guys watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yes.
I didn't.
So, yes, with an eye roll is about all we need to say about it.
Ugh. How is this not getting canned mid-season? It's just so...
It's very
I don't even-
predictable.
Like, I just wanted to tear my hair out when they're like, science is proof there's no ESP. And it's Marvel. It's the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
Maybe
who argues
Marvel
science?
paid them to put the show on. Have you ever thought of
And-
that?
Of
That's
course.
why it's not taken off.
But it's the Marvel universe, so like that is not a valid like argument for secret agents who deal with like magic and people flying and it
Yeah.
just makes any other TV show I'm gonna be like, okay, that is perfectly fine dialogue, it's a perfectly logical thing for a character to say in the show. This show is the wrong place for that dialogue.
Yeah.
Very predictable, very campy, very just
Oh.
cheesy.
The predictability was. Oh, I mean, I called this that she was like, she's not really evil. She just is being controlled, and she needs somebody to save her.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah, this is where we spoil the hell out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you're watching it
Not-
and you're upset, just stop watching it. Then your problem's
Not-
solved.
You had a week to watch this crap.
Smut. All right.
Oh,
Well, that's about all the time we have, though.
all right.
So, I want to thank everyone for listening to this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Be sure to check out everythingnoob.com for all of your noob needs. And all the show notes things. Show notes are pretty busy tonight, so be sure you go check all those things out. And a couple cool videos to check out. Mousecraft coming up on the channel Wednesday.
Yep.
So on and so forth. All right. See you guys next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Noob podcast. Be sure to visit everythingnoob.com for previous episodes, show notes, host bios, and blogs. And while you're there, feel free to write us with any questions, comments, or suggestions you may have. Don't forget to check out the links to our Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch TV channel as well. On behalf of the noobs, see you next week, and happy gaming.